It was in 1995 that Saeed Al-Tayer and Felix Morales became the world Class 1 offshore powerboat champions for the first time, heading up the challenge for the Dubai-based Victory team, who, in 1993, had temporarily laid to rest years of Italian domination. It's a high-speed, high life for the two men from very different backgrounds, but even world champions have to make a living away from the glamour of the race circuit.
As you know, what I do when it comes to offshore, it's my obligation, my duty to the country. What I do on the other time, which is run my business, is totally different. We have the flagship of our business. We are in the auto trade, and we represent Jaguar cars, Ferrari cars, Land Rover, in Dubai, Northern Emirates, Ferrari obviously, and DAF trucks in the whole of the UAE. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. I look after this business and try to look after my clients.
High technology in the showroom, but now also high technology in the other workshop.
Victory make the best boats when it comes to offshore. Definitely we have proven ourselves time and time again against the best designers worldwide, against the top gun of the races or the offshore, specifically the Italians. They come from every part of the world. Time and time again we manage to beat them in their own game. Sometimes, yes, they beat us because of their heavy push from the manufacturers like Lamborghini with the high tech. We are the reason as Victory team behind taking or pushing the competition to elevate their level of performance from technology, gearbox, engines, designs. That's proven, and clearly with the Bilba boat, where they took the design from us, they added more power, technology, etc., to have a competitive boats. But Victory team is the reason why this sport has survived. I think we have come a long ways in the last 4 years, and we set the pace for them. I think it's good for Victory team. I think it's great for the country, and I think it's overall it's good for the sport.
Al-Tayer and Morales began their campaign to record back-to-back world championships, a feat incidentally never achieved in modern offshore racing, in Havana, Cuba, amongst the razzmatazz of carnival and circus. On the water it was a smooth start, flat calm, and Victory won in imperious mood. But there were storm crowds brewing. The Italians had their new designs, new power, and the guns were blazing. But no one could halt the Victory roll. They recorded the first victory. Not even the much fancied Bilba team of Eduardo Poli and Lamberto Leone, who arrived with a 150 mph speed tag, could halt the run. It was a perfect start for the number ones. Next tour stop was Malaga in Spain. But this time the waters were not so flat. And despite of the efforts of the all-blue three-boat Victory team, it was the 1994 champion Luca Ferrari who was finally showing the stunning speed of his Lamborghini-powered Ferretti boat. The attempts of Al-Tayer and Morales to stay with the Italians proved worthless. An engine blowout, and suddenly they were back in the pack. Rome was next, but here the waters would be even rougher. It was destined to be a battle of wits and a war of attrition. Victory on Italian waters is always a treasured sculpt, and this would be especially timely for the number one crew. As the race developed, it became a head-to-head battle between Victory 1 and Bilba 24. But it was destined to be a difficult day for the Victory team all round. Both Al-Tayer's teammates flipped. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the setback balanced by the side of their number one crossing the line first. Felix Morales took time to explain why the oddball partnership works.
I guess a little bit probably has to do that we're so different. He's very outgoing. He's a very professional guy, and I'm very quiet, and he's a very good driver, and I like to throttle, so I guess we complement each other. I don't know what it is, but I really enjoy racing with him.
Who's the crazier of the two? Who wants to go the fastest?
Oh, he's always pushing me, definitely. But you know, in the beginning, maybe lack of experience. He wanted to go faster because in this boat sometimes you feel you're not going fast enough. But it's a long race, and it's one thing you have to learn when you run offshore. You have to be there at the end. But you're going to be racing for an hour and a half, and turns aren't that important. You just have to be able to get through them as quick as possible, but also as safe as possible, so you can get around the course one more time and take a lot of pounding. But it's easier to get into a rhythm and maintain the speed that you can run over whatever rough water is out there. But when you get the smooth water, that's when it gets hairy. It gets scary because you really get up to them 130-mile-an-hour range, and it can get a little scary still. I'm very fortunate to have been able to participate with the Victory team. I'm very happy they invited me back in 1991. Just after the war, I was able to go up to Dubai, and the people have been always very, very nice to me, and that's when I started actually racing with Saeed, my driver, my current driver, and we've been racing for a while already, and we were very comfortable with each other, and it's an honor for me actually to be able to be part of the Victory team.
Still in Italy, the teams arrived in Gallipoli for the next round. The two boats damaged in Rome repaired and ready, and the champions in great shape. But could their good luck and good fortune hold as the crews lined up for another rough water ride? This time though, engine problems on the number one enforced a cautious approach, and a fourth position was the best on offer. But despite the Italian Armada's best efforts, there was still celebration in the Victory camp. It came in the shape of their new development boat, crewed by Ali Nasser and Randy Sissom, last seen upside down in Rome. It was a staggering comeback. Spirits were high then as the roadshow moved on to Scandinavia, to Arendal, Norway, another traditionally rough race, in and out of the fjords. Setting up the boat is the tricky bit here. Half the course is in open waters, and the remainder is a sprint through the flat sheltered waters of the fjords. But getting it right once again, Saeed Altar and Felix Morales romping home for their third victory in 5 races. But the luck wasn't to last. A disastrous race in Switzerland, plus a breakdown in France, put pressure right back on Victory 1 as the Italians closed in. With Leone and Polly in the Red Bilbao 24 snapping at their heels, the final 2 performances at home in Dubai called for something special. And it's never going to be easy when the Italians sent victory, and so it proved in this, the penultimate round. But Altar and Morales chose to go to the front to defend their corner, pushing their boat as hard and as fast as it would go in an attempt to break the Italian machinery and their spirit. And it was a tough strategy timed impeccably. Number 1 crossed the line first, and in front of the home crowd, Saeed Altar and Felix Morales lifted the coveted world title with 1 race to go and achieved that unique double.
This is a great result. It's a historic day for Victory team, for the IMC and the UAE. I can't tell you enough. I'm over the moon about it.
Felix, you're world champion for the 2nd time in Class 1. That's a rarity. What's it feel like?
Oh, it feels really good. It's very hard to win it, you know, one time, and we're just very just too happy to put it into words. To be able to have hold it again for the 2nd year, and it's gonna feel really good to run the number 1 plate again.
Cuba was first discovered by Columbus in 1492 and quickly developed as a major sugar producer. In the ensuing period, however, it's seen the good times and the bad. In 1959, the Castro regime brought stability, but with it, a poor quality of life. But things are on the up. As well as sugar, the cigar industry now thrives. But more importantly, big international businessmen are beginning to take note. And here, because you don't have a dime in your pocket, it doesn't mean you're downhearted. The parade kicked off the weekend. It was a revelation. Over 300,000 people turned out, including many of Cuba's top sportsmen, as well as hundreds of gyrating and brightly clad dancers. This was one giant Caribbean street party, courtesy of just simply wonderful people. But now it's down to the serious business for the racers, and representatives from 7 countries have arrived for the season's opening race, with the Victory team from Dubai here in force, with 3 boats challenging for the title after being runners-up in '94. And the #1 boat of Luca Ferrari, the 1994 world champion, here to start the defence of his world crown with the new, more powerful Lamborghini engines in the Ferretti boat. First action of the weekend, though, is pole position, which is a timed flying kilometre, as well as being a separate speed trophy. It also gives the teams a chance to test their engines to the limit. Well, the man that was doing it all was Luca Ferrari in the Ferretti Monte Cristo boat. He was nearly half a second quicker than the rest, averaging 122.24. Second was Domenico Achilli with his new Lamborghini engines, averaging 120.07 over the kilometre course. And no surprise in third, Power Marine with Corbelli and Diridoni, posting an average speed of 118.92 in the diesel-powered number 16. So, pole position results confirmed then. 30 points for the win, it's 18 for second, and 12 for third in this popular competition. Well then, it's a special surprise, as Fidel Castro took time out to meet the drivers. And he's also to go out in the start boat with World Series promoter Mauro Ravenna to drop the flag and set it all on its way. Well, the crowd's around 500,000 as the race approaches, jamming the waterfront for over 3 miles here. The orange flag then to commence the start procedure has gone off. The boats begin to roll. Let's pick up with the action. So it's 132 miles of racing that lay ahead in the first round of the 1995 Class 1 Offshore World Powerboat Championship. Well, it has been said, only 13 boats here. What's happening to the championship? But I can tell you, there may be less boats, but the competition's certainly hotter. Very little to choose between these inboard powered machines now. Remember, there's over 2,000 horsepower in each of them. 7 Lamborghini engine-powered boats, 3 Sterling, 1 powered by Keith Eichert, 1 Isotta Frascini, and 1 Sea-Tech. Well, it's going to be close, and already it's a break by the white Ferretti boat. This is Agrati, number 5, the boat of Renato Lulio. And look at that as they come to approach the seafront. Ferretti on this side. Is Jacopo Carrane second there, the white boat. Is Diridoni in number 16, and on the outside is Lamberto Leoni, the Italian, in the red number 24, the Bilbo boat. Well, no early success for Victory team here. That's number 7, Randy Sissom and Hamad Bouhaleba. They lie back in 6th. The best of the Victory boats there, just out of picture on the left, is number 2. Is Jacopo Carrane taking it up? Is he in the lead? No, not quite there. You just saw the wash of Ferrari in the Ferretti boat. That's 16, the only diesel power in contention at the moment. And here comes Saeed Al-Taya and Felix Sorales, number 2, in the blue Victory boat. And lying there in 5th place was Domenico Achilli. That's Bilba on the outside. This, once again, picking the inside line, number 2, Felix Sorales and Saeed Al-Taya of the UAE. Oh, and there's the boat we saw in 5th. That's Domenico Achilli and the Lamborghini-powered Achilli motors, number 8. Well, beginning to spread out a little here on the first lap, but still very, very little in it. And on the outside there now, number 2. Well, change of plan here by Saeed Al-Taya and Felix Sorales. Well, I don't know what that's going to prove for them. That's the long way round, but oh, the skill in that crew, you wouldn't question too much. And following them wide is number 3. That's Kart van Hareb and Ed Collier, the 1993 Class 1 world champions. Well, there's got to be some tactics here. We're approaching the mark to turn seaward, so we'll see how it's worked out. Oh, and it's worked out stunningly for number 2. Well, you could see the ploy. They went wide, kept the power on, came through the washes and lead. Well, the same won't happen for this crew, number 3, Kafan, Hareb and Ed Collier, but they'll certainly pick up positions. They were in 7th on the approach to the mark, and we'll see when they come out of this turn where they are. That's a lead then. And we've lost number 1 Ferrari in the Ferretti boat, and we've lost number 4 Carrane. They drop back, so some brilliant driving here by the Victory crew, and in fact by the red boat there, Lamberto Leone. So this is the crew then that's won 3 out of the last 4 Grand Prix, including the 1994 results, that is, of course. And really, what a great start it is to this race. Well, here come the white boats of Carrane and Ferrari. And that is Carrane, Jolly Motor number 4, just 28 years old, a multi-millionaire. In battle then still with number 16. That's Diradoni. This is the lead. Approaching the end now of lap 1. And that is the distance. Oh, here comes Carrane. Now he's going to go past Leone if he's not careful. Lamberto Leone loses his place there. And through comes Ferrari. Now the Lamborghini's beginning to make it pay, moving back here. And it's Sism who moves ahead of Hamad Boualeba. That's number 7 on the outside, number 3 on the inside. So Sism going very wide. He's the only Victory boat running the new Lamborghini gearboxes. And in fairness to him, it's his first race. End of the first lap then. And it's still number 2, the boat of Saeed Altar and Felix Sorales, in the Victory team boat, built in the UAE, engines built in the UAE by Sterling. And they reach the end of the lap now at an average speed of 102.79 miles per hour. Well, it's a good scrap going on for second. Now they've battled throughout the first lap, and they're going to battle to see who will achieve the second position at the end of the lap. It's going to be Carrane in number 4. He gets there now. And Lamborghini Power also behind. There goes number 24, Eduardo Poli and Lamberto Leone. These boats, of course, have a throttleman and a driver. The driver holds the wheel, the throttleman holds the throttles. And it takes many, many hours and sometimes years of practice to get used to that configuration. Well, let's go. Good 4th place for number 16, pole position 3rd of yesterday, Giancarlo Corbelli and Alberto Diradoni. They'll be quite happy with that. And leading the diesel fleet here. Diesel power, not the popular choice these days. 3 years ago, it was a different tale. And coming through in 5th and 6th then. The other 2 Victory boats in blue. And certainly not the conditions for number 3. As we've already said, number 7 on the learning curve with the new gearboxes. So Victory team, I think, at the end of the lap will be quite happy with all that. And thrilling, the massive crowd here, as we've already said, over 500,000 people, 10, 12 deep in places over 3 miles. Well, this is what they saw. Victory Team 2 ahead, and Jolly Motors and Bilba are still in that battle. Ferretti was 4th, Achille 5th, and Power Marine in 6th at the end of the lap. So into lap 2 now, and still it's Victory 2, Saeed Altar and Felix Sorales, who lead the new boat for the 1995 campaign. This is the battle for second, and Carrane still ahead of Bilba, and Ferrari's back. The number 1 boat in the centre. Well, he went for the gap. He didn't find it, and now he's slowing down. Now that's a problem. Look at the way that Leone's pulling away. There's definitely a problem for Ferrari in the number 1 boat. Well, we'll try and catch up with that a little later on. Meanwhile, the battle will continue here. Carrane, was on the inside, I was going to say, but he isn't anymore. Lamberto Leone goes from the inside. That's going to be some scrap as this race goes on. And that, I think, will have the effect of taking them closer to number 2. But they have some lead now as they come towards the end of the second lap. They had the luxury of slowing down a bit, but I don't think that's going to last too long. They're going to have to pick up their pace here as they move into the 3rd lap and towards the halfway point in this race. They're so very, very under control, as they have been in the last 4 races of the campaign in 94-95. This is the end of the lap then. And once again, and a great opportunity here to look at the principle on which the cap works. The air rushing down the tunnel, look. is forced out of the back, giving the lift. Only the props in the water, pushing this 3.5-ton, 2,000 horsepower boat. Now here, I would say, at around 118 miles an hour. Remember, they lapped on the first lap at 102. I'll take a check on the second lap very shortly indeed. But on the straights, they're running at around 120. It really is very, very, very quick indeed in these flat conditions here at Havana. So back to second place, around about a half a mile down now, but certainly catching. Now, is that Carrane in the lead? There is a wash, but of course that could be number 2. So where's Bilbao? Oh, he's behind. There's Leone, just a little behind, just 150, 200 metres in that. So still that battle continues, and a lot of lift there from Bilbao. Well, he'll have to be careful. It is flat, but you can see there is a residual swell from the wind we've had here over the last 2 or 3 days. Well, there's Achille back in 5th. And, well, he would have expected better things. He, too, is running gearboxes and the new Lamborghini engines, reputed to develop over 1,000 horsepower per unit now. Remember, 2 of them in the boat, so that's over 2,000 horsepower for him. Now, that's number 16, Giancarlo Corbelli and Alberto Diridoni. As we said, they were 3rd. And this is number 3. Well, that's slowing down. So problems here for Karl-Van Hareb and Ed Collier. Well, Karl-Van Hareb not looking too happy there. And looking around, they're definitely off the plane and slowing down. So that looks mechanical to me. Oh, and off comes the harness, so they're stopping. Now then, that's put Sism up 1 place to 6th. There he is. So he'll be happy with that in one respect, but as team manager, he won't be happy in the other, because one of the 3 teams already, well, I can't say out because I don't quite know what's happened, but it did look a little terminal with Karl-Van Hareb taking those harnesses off. Well, through comes number 5, Renato Lulio in Agrati, another of the Lamborghini powered boats. And a first look at 21, Adriano Panatta, the ex-Italian Davis Cup tennis player, on a different sort of pitch here, and down in 8th position for him. Well, he'll be a little disappointed with that. And the second of the diesel-powered boats, number 14 through now, Matteo Nicolini and his brother in Divella. A mistake there by number 24. Eduardo Poli and Lamberto Leone have gone wide. My goodness, they're going to try and cut through. Oh, wow, that was at 130 odd miles an hour. That was pretty dangerous, I must say, cutting across a boat of the number 4 boat, Jolly Motors of Jacopo Carrane and Francesco Pansini. And it's cost them the lead, and it could have cost them an awful lot more. I've got to say, I don't quite agree with that. I don't know what the judges will say. So anyway, that battle that was very tight is even tighter now, because it's Jacopo Carrane who's got the inside of the course, taking that away from number 24, Eduardo Poli, but he's only got himself to blame. And this is number 7 now, and it's up 1 place for Hamid Bouhaleba and Randy Sism, and this is the comeback of the day, no question about that. We'd written number 3 off, Karl-Van Hareb and Ed Collier, just 2 laps ago, but gradually picking their way back up the fleet, passing De Villa there, Matteo Nicolini, and Karl-Van Hareb is concentrating again. Well, he doesn't exactly look happy now, but I'm sure he's a lot happier than he was 2 laps ago. So they come through at the end of the lap in 6th position. And that is some recovery, as I said. Oh, my word, and that's a problem. No, not quite sure that. Oh, it's Agrati. Well, the hands go up and the crew are safe, that's for sure. Renato Lulio out of the race. Well, I don't know what happened there. It's on the mark, so I would suggest it's probably a spin, a twist, and over. Oh, that should be the lead boat. The new curved lines of victory number 2, and there the crew names on the side. Saeed Altaya, the driver, Felix Sorrell on the throttles, reckoned to be the best throttle man in the world. And if they're to win this one, that'll make it 4 wins out of 5 races. And that's the line. There they go. That's the clenched fist. And these are the results. So it's a victory for victory, the 2nd for Poli and Leone, and a 3rd for Jolly Motors, Carrane. 4th for victory again, number 7 takes 9 points. 5th for victory, number 3, 6 points, and 6th for the tennis player. Oh, and a great reception here from this huge crowd for the winners. Let's catch up with Saeed Altaya.
Salam, Khalifa and the glass shop people did a magnificent job putting this boat together. I take my hat for them. Felix, as usual, when it gets a little bit lumpy, he is the man to beat, so we were really happy. We came through. Everybody did a good job. I can't thank him enough. This is the beginning. We ended the season last year on a winning note. It's really pleasing, and we're glad to start the season, kick off at a winning note too.
So in the end, the spoils were shared. 2 UAE and 2 Italian flags in the top 4. And the occasion once again graced with the presence of Fidel Castro, who took the opportunity of presenting the winners with their laurels and congratulating the crews on a great contest. And some in turn took the opportunity of obtaining a pretty unique autograph. By the way, don't stand too near Saeed Al-Tayr in October. He's pretty unlikely to wash his overalls again this season.